Hare गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे
लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं त्वनन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं बर्हावतां समसिताम्बुधसुन्दराङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलसद्वनमाल्यवंशी रत्नागदं प्रणयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मय सदुज्ज्वल विग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तौ गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्तासु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्भ्रमम्यो वायोरथापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गवानां सोऽप्यस्ति यत्र पदसिन्यविचिन्त्य तत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽप्यसौ रचयितं जगदण्डकोटिं यक्षशिरस्ति जगदण्डजयाय दन्ता अण्डान्तरस्थपरमाणुचयान्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजस्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमभिमासनयानभूषा सूक्तैर्यमेव निगमप्रतितैः स्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिः प्राप्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोत् भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत् परमः पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्य प्रभाप्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटिश्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिविन्दम् तत्तं अनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि मायाभियस्य जगदण्डशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदविधायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वविशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसात्मजया मनस्सु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि निजधाम्नितरे च तस्य देवी महेश हरिधामसुतेषु ब्रह्मावनिजया विविधाश्रये शक्तिरेका ध्याये हयस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टतेषा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि क्षीरं यथा दधिविकारविशेषयोगात् सञ्जायते ललितः पृथगस्ति हेतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपाक्षिरेव विदशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतुसमानधर्मा यस्याभिजयविश्वतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
Any couples are there can go together and add water for everybody.
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि विष्णुर्महास्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि भास्वान्यदाश्मशकलेषु निजेषु तेजा प्रियं प्रियं प्रकटयत्यस्तत्त्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
Water వేయండి water and పైనుంచి కొద్దిగా పైనుంచి
పల్లవయుగం వినిధాయ కుంభా వందే ప్రణామ సమయే సగణాధిరాజా విఘ్నాన్ విహంతు బలమస్య జగత్రయస్య गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मही गगनमम्बुमरुदिशश्च कालस्तथात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयाणि यस्माद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यच्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषतेजा यस्याज्ञया भ्रमति संहृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोधपापनिचयश्च्युतयस्तवांसि ब्रह्मादिकीटपटकावधयश्च जीवा यद्दत्तमात्रविभवः प्रकटप्रभावात् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्मिन्द्रगोपमधवेन्द्रमहोत्सवर्मा बन्धानुरूपफलभाजनमाकरोति कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधकामसहजप्रलयादिभीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावै सञ्चिन्त्य सदृशं तनुमापुरेते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रीयकान्ता
परमपुरुषा कल्पतरवो
ध्रुवाभूमिश्चिन्तामणि गणमयीतोयममृतम् कथागानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वांशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योति परममपि तद्भासाद्वमपि च स यत्र क्षीराभिश्रवति सुरभिभ्यश्च सुमः विनेशाद्धात्यो वा व्रजति न हि यत्रापि समयः भजे
चेत गीतं
तमहमिह भूलोकमितिरम् विदन्तस्ते सप्तक्षितिविरलचारापठितये हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
మధు
శ్రీరామ రక్షాస్తోత్రం. ఓం అస్య శ్రీరామ రక్షాస్తోత్ర మహామంత్రస్య బుధకౌశిక ఋషిః శ్రీ సీతారామచంద్రో దేవతానుష్ఠుప్ఛందః సీతాశక్తిః శ్రీమాన్ హనుమాన్ కీలకం. శ్రీరామచంద్ర ప్రీత్యర్థే రామరక్షాస్తోత్ర జపే వినియోగః. ధ్యానం ధ్యాయే రాజానుబాహుం బుధశరధనుషం బద్ధపద్మాసనస్థం పీతం వాసోపసానం నవకమలదరస్పర్తినేత్రం ప్రసన్నం వామాంకారూఢ సీతాముఖకమలమిలల్లోచనం నీరదాపం నానాలంకారతీర్థం దదతమృజటామండలం
Kids, everybody did.
చరితం రఘునాథస్య శతకోటిప్రవిస్తరం ఏకైకమక్షరం పుంసాం మహాపాతకనాశనం ధ్యాత్వా నీలోత్పలశ్యామం రామం రాజీవలోచనం జానకీ లక్ష్మణోపేతం జటాముకుటమండితం సావితోత్తనుద్ధానపాణిం నక్తం చరాచకం స్వలీలయా జగత్ప్రాపం ఆవిర్భూతమచండితం రామరక్షాం పటేన్నామ్నః ఆపత్తిం సర్వకామదాం శిరో మే రాఘవః పాతు కాలం దశరథాత్మజः కౌసల్యేయో దృశో పాతు విశ్వామిత్రప్రియం శృతే రామం పాతు మకత్రాత ముఖం సౌమిత్రివత్సరः జిహ్వాం విద్యాయితి పాతు కంఠం భరతవందితः స్కంధౌ దివ్యాయుధः పాతు భుజౌ పద్మేశకార్ముకः करौ सीतापतिः पातु हृदयं चामरज्ञचित् मध्यं पातु करग्लसी नाभिं जाम्बवदाश्रयः सुग्रीवेशः कटिं पातु सप्तनी हनुमत्प्रभुरघुत्तमः पातु रक्षः कुलविनाशकृत् जानुनी सेतुकृत् पातु चङ्गे दशमुखान्तकः पादौ विभीषणः शीतः पातु रामोऽखिलं बभूव एतां रामबलोपेतां रक्षाम्यः सुकृतिं पठेत् सचिरायुः पुत्री विजयी विनयी भवेत् पातालभूतः व्योमचारिणः शर्मसारिणः प्रतिष्ठमपि शक्तास्ते रक्षितं रामनामभिः रामेति रामभद्रेति रामचन्द्रेति वास्मरन् नरो न लिप्यते पापैः भुक्तिं मुक्तिं च विन्दति जगच्चैत्रैकमन्त्रेण रामनाम्नाभिरक्षितुं यस्ते धारयेत् तस्य जगत्सिद्धः वर्षपञ्चरनामेदं यो रामकवचं स्मरेत् अज्ञाताग्नः सर्वत्र लभते जयमन्तरम् आदिष्टवान् यदा स्वप्ने रामरक्षामिमां हरः तदा निहितवान् प्राप्तः प्रबुद्धो बुद्धिस्थितकौशिकः आरामस्तल्पवृक्षाणां विरामस्तकरापदाम् अभिरामश्चिलोकानां रामः श्रीमान् प्रभुः तरुणोपसम्पन्नौ सुकुमारौ महाबलौ कुण्डलीका विशालाक्षौ क्षीरकृष्णाचिनाम्बरौ बलमूलाशिमौदान्तौ तापसौ ब्रह्मचारिणौ पुत्रौ दशरथस्यैतौ भ्रातरौ रामलक्ष्मणौ शरण्यौ सर्वसत्त्वानां श्रेष्ठौ सर्वधनुष्मतां रक्षकुलनिहत्तारौ कामेकाग्रो रघुत्तमौ रक्षणाय मम राम लक्ष्मणामस्त्रितमपि सकलैव सच्यताम् सन्नद्धकवचेकटी चापमानकरो युवा मनोरथान्तश्च रामः पार्थः स लक्ष्मणः रामो वाशरथिशूरो लक्ष्मणानुचरो बली काकुत्सः पुरुषः पूर्णः कौसल्येयो रघुत्तमः वेदार्थवेद्यो यज्ञेशः पुराणपुरुषोत्तमः जानकी वल्लभः श्रीमान्
सुबन्धिनामनि दिव्यै तदे संसारिणो नराम रामं लक्ष्मणपूर्वजं रघुवरं सीतापतिं सुन्दरं काकुत्स्थं करुणार्णवं गुणनिधिं विप्रप्रियं रामयुक्तं राजेन्द्रं सत्यसन्धं दशरथतनयं शान्तमूर्तिं वन्दे लोकाभिरामं रघुकुलतिलकं राघवं रामनाथं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय रामदाय सीताया पदये नमः श्रीराम राम रघुनन्दन राम राम श्रीराम राम भरता गज राम राम श्रीराम राम दश राम राम श्रीराम राम शरणं भव राम श्रीरामचन्द्र शरणं मनसा श्रीरामचन्द्र शरणं वचसा कृतामि श्रीरामचन्द्र शरणं श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता रामो पिता रामचन्द्रः स्वामी रामो मत्सखा रामचन्द्रः सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयालु नान्यं जाने नैव जाने न जाने दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरुषो मारुतिस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनं लोकाभिरामं रमणं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं प्रपद्ये पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् आपदामपहर्तारं भ्रातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् भजनं भवबीजानाम् आचरं सुखसम्पदां भजनं यमदूतानां राम रामेति गर्जनं रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहितानि चरचमो रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं रामे चित्तरे सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धरा श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने इति श्रीपुरकौशिकमुनिविरचितं श्रीरामरक्षास्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णं जय श्रीराम।
Come in the front.
Okay, sorry, so we'll start today's class. As Grace Leena Prabhu could not come because he has some high fever, so he asked me to take the class on his behalf. I hope I will try to do some justice to the class. I know I cannot fill in his his place here, but I try to do what I can. Let's start with our prayers. Let's go to prayers.
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे। नमो ब्रह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मण्याय हिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत कथाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे हुकुम करो तो वाचन प्रभु लगा के गंध कृपातमाहं वंदे श्री गुरु तीर्थारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं पवित्रो वा सर्वास्तगतोऽपि वा यस्मरेति पुण्डरीकाक्षं सभाभ्याभ्यन्तरशुचिः श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। Happy Rama Navami to everybody. So this is the pictures from Juhu temple. Most of you have seen this temple. So that's where actually we have, along with Radha Krishna, we also have for Ram Parivar. So Leela Prabhuji was planning on taking this class, 16 qualities of Lord Rama. Lord Rama, 16 qualities. Actually, I did this class yesterday morning at Avatar. So some of you who come there, who have attended that, it will be a repetition of this class. Yeah, so we'll go through the qualities of Lord Rama. Thank you so much. With the grace of the mercy of Leela Prabhu, I'm doing this class. So we'll try to go over some of the qualities of Lord Rama. So, of all the avatars of God, Rama avatar is one of the avatars of the most worshipped avatar. After Krishna avatar, if you look at Rama avatar is one of the most worshipped avatars, basically, right? You will find a lot of Rama temples everywhere, especially in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, by mercy of Bhadrachalam or Ramadas. We are actually in the same proximity where Ramadas once lived, basically. Ramadas, a great devotee of Rama, not long back, like 400-500 years ago, he lived in this area. Probably his cart or his chariot must have gone this way. Basically, we might be driving in the same roads that he once lived, basically, right? So that's our fortune. So again, of all the avatars, each avatar has a specific purpose. Like Narasimha avatar has a specific purpose of rescuing Prahlada, taking care of Hiranyakashipu and so on and so forth. You don't see the pastimes of God in other avatars apart from Krishna avatar. Only in Rama avatar you will see a lot more pastimes of Lord himself. You can see Rama growing up, Rama getting married, Rama living here, Rama living there, and finally, of course, Rama took care of Ravana and all that story. But that's just one part of it. So the purpose of Rama avatar is really to teach the world of his qualities. To live, each one of us have to live according to his lifestyle, right? So why should we learn about his qualities? Does anybody want to answer? Why should we learn about his qualities, basically? What is there so much to learn about God's qualities, and why should we learn? Who wants to answer that question? If you learn, you can inculcate. Okay. Any other answers? To follow dharma. If you implement at least 1% of his qualities, and what happens if you implement his qualities? Why should we implement even any of his qualities?
Life becomes perfect.
Sorry?
Life becomes perfect.
Life becomes perfect. Any other answers? Somebody?
Life becomes
In progress in devotion.
Life becomes more purposeful to reach Krishna.
Life becomes more purposeful to reach Krishna. See, our goal of our life is that, right? You want to reach God's abode. We call it Vaikuntha, Ayodhya Dham, Golok Dham, but we want to go there, right? That's the purpose. And Rama Avatar is also for that purpose only. He wants to take all of us. See, for example, I'll tell you a small example. What is the purpose of mathematics teacher? To teach mathematics, right? So, he has a class students of 60 people. Who will be his favorite student? Someone who does maths properly. So, someone follows Rama's qualities, he'll be his best student, or best person to go back to God. So, for that reason, we need to understand God's qualities and then try to implement, to impress him by following his own footprints, right? So, if we really want to impress God, we have to listen to his message. We have to follow his message. That's what it is, right? The English teacher will not be impressed so much of somebody's mathematical skills. But a math teacher will like a mathematics student because he's actually listening to his class and he's following those instructions and he's progressing. The same thing applies to God and especially Rama Avatar. Because the purpose of Rama Avatar is Rama's avatar is to live as Maryada Purusha and to show the world how to live like a 100% grahastha. What's the mindset of a grahastha should be basically. That's the reason why Rama is like Ekapatni Vrata. I mean Ekapatni, this thing. Like only one wife. Rama never, in those days, marrying multiple wives is the norm. If you look at Dasarath Maharaj, then n number of times he had marriage. But Rama wanted to show the world how a grahastha should live. It's okay, like he went through a lot of hurdles, or he went through a lot of these things. But each time somebody goes through that hurdle, he even proved even more why one should live in that, the qualities that one should possess and the qualities one should stand up for. That's what we need to learn from Rama Avatar. So all your answers are right to perfect our life better, but that perfection has to lead or has to converge with the devotion to please Rama. That's all, as simple as that. For that reason, we need to understand some of his qualities and purify. At the end of it, understanding these qualities is to have that kind of transformation within us. And what should the transformation do? It should take us closer to his opinion on us, or we should impress him basically. We should get closer to him in our impressions to him basically, right? So, the other day, in one of the classes, Radhesham Prabhu was mentioning about 3 stages of devotion. He talked about occasional devotees, regular devotees, constant devotees. Who are occasional devotees? They come once in a while to the temple. I'm very devotional, so this is an auspicious day. Regular devotees, finish your 16 rounds and the rest of the day is yours. The 16 round time is God's and the rest of the day is yours, basically. The constant devotees are the ones who are living 24/7 in that mood, basically. So, understanding of these qualities should help us get from point A to point B to point C. Somebody might say, every Ramanavami I'm attending temples, I'm a regular devotee. That's not regular, that is just regularly being regular, basically. That's occasional, basically, right? You go to the temple occasionally. So that's what most of the people we are looking, people around us are like that. I was like that. That's why I'm saying people around us like that. So we think like, once in a while we go to temple and we think God sees us only that day. The rest of the time we live our own way. And we think, we have purified for that year. So again, wait for next occasion to go to the temple. So after coming and understanding some Krishna consciousness, probably we have moved to one step closer, like, Srila Prabhupada said, these are the 4 regulative principles, we are following them. Regularly we are doing all these things. But is that really keeping us in that mood for the rest of the day? So what does that keeping in that mood for rest of the day means? Because most people say, the morning 2 hours or 3 hours you are spending in your chanting, Mangala Harati, so 2.5 hours or something like that. But the rest of the day is not like that, because the rest of the day I have to interact with the world. So it's not the same. Yesterday somebody was asking, you are talking about so many qualities. These are the qualities of Rama in Treta Yuga. Are they still applicable? So the 24 hours is still the same. Our mindset is still the same. The human body is made of the 24 elements is still the same. Our goal is still the same. The circumstances might change, but the application should still be relevant. See, even today, whether it's true or not, whether they're to making it true or not, every political manifesto has the first line item, promise of Ramarajyam. Yes or no? Whether it happens or not, but see, why is it basically? And people are still taking it, right? Because that is the highest gold standard that was set. And what made it to stand there, and what still makes us inspired by that Ramarajyam that Rama led in Treta Yuga. So the circumstances might change. Things change within 10 years. A lot of things have changed, right? We have n number of car models now. Basically, earlier car is synonym with ambassador. Today we have n number of car models. So the things have changed, but it does not mean our mindset cannot be adopted to what God set as standard. For that reason, at least we should learn about God's qualities, primarily to apply it in our day-to-day life. That's all. That's all. As simple as that. By doing so, by converting our day-to-day activities, and doing those activities with one or two or some of God's qualities itself will help us. As you all said, it purifies us, makes us a better person, and makes us more qualified for the final examination, basically. Having said that, we'll try to go through Rama's qualities. So, so the way we have read it in our Bhagavatam, where Vyasadeva has written all the Puranas, and at that point of time, he still had this dissatisfaction. And when he had this dissatisfaction, Narada Muni came and told Vyasadeva, the reason why the source of your dissatisfaction is you have not glorified God enough. Similar to that, there is a conversation between Valmiki Maharshi and Narada Muni. So one day, this is all happening. Actually, this conversation is happening when Rama is still in Ayodhya. Basically, it's during that time only. Then on one day, there is a conversation between Narada Muni and Valmiki Muni, and these are the shlokas from Balakanda. Ramayana is broken into kandas, basically, right? Bhagavatam, Kanda, cantos, and Mahabharata, parvas. So, in the Balakanda, these are the second shloka, third shloka, fourth shloka. So, the conversation is here, Valmiki Maharshi is asking Narada Muni. What is he asking? Let's try to read this slokas. Kvanvasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmajnascha kritajnascha satyavakyo dridhavrataha charitrena chako yukta sarvabhuteshu kohitaha vidvan kaka samattascha kascha eka priyadarshan Atmavan ko chita krodho Dhyutiman ka anasuyaha Kasya bhivyati devacha Jata roshasya samyuge. So here Valmiki Maharshi is talking to Narada Muni, asking with 16 qualities. He's asking, does anybody exist with these 16 qualities? So let's go through the meaning of each shloka. Who in this current world is virtuous, valorous, knowing dharma, grateful to his beneficiaries, truthful and resolute in all his doings? Similarly, the second shloka, the next shloka, who is endowed with good character, is benign, favorable to all beings, learned, able, and is very pleasing to gaze upon. Who is brave, has conquered anger, is mysterious, and is not envious of others, whom when whom when wrathful in battle do even the gods fear. Such is the matter I want to hear, and I am very eager to do so. O Maharshi, you alone are capable of knowing such a person. So, Narada Muni is talking about 16 characters and is asking Valmiki Maharshi, Valmiki Maharshi is asking Narada Muni, does such a person exist? I want to see if a person with these 16 characters does exist. Then Narada Muni says, Lord Rama is such person that exists with all these 16 characters. Apparently, if you go to the next slokas of Bhalakanda, it talks about Narada Muni telling Valmiki Maharshi, you actually have met him. And at this point, in some versions of Ramayana, it said, the entire Ramayana did not happen. But Valmiki Maharshi, the Narada Muni bestows that knowledge onto Valmiki Maharshi to write Ramayana even in advance of the story that is going to happen, yet to happen. After that, Brahma appears in front of Narada Muni, in front of Valmiki Maharshi, and then then there are prayers between Brahma and Valmiki, and then Brahma gives him the required knowledge to write Valmiki Ramayana. So that's how Valmiki Ramayana has come, and then in that you can see all the 16 qualities of Lord Rama as stated in this particular shloka. So let's talk a little bit about Rama. So and then we'll go into the stories. So the first quality is dharmagnya. So how Rama is the ultimate dharmatma that the world has seen. So if you can look at the whole Ramayana, you have Rama, Dasharatha having 4 children, and then you know the story. I'm not going to go through the detail of Ramayana story, but we'll go briefly. So Dasharatha Maharaj decides to crown Rama as the Prince of Ayodhya. And how did that trigger? Do you know what triggered Dasharatha Maharaj to pick Rama as the crown? Does anybody know what triggered Dasharatha Maharaj?
I think one white hair.
Yeah, one white hair. Dasharatha Maharaj, looking in the mirror one day, he has suddenly traced one white hair on his this thing. No, we're not talking about his is a lot more black compared to me, so don't worry. So when he saw one white hair, he thought, this is time to give up my responsibilities and hand over. It's time for me to go to Vanaprastha. This is after 60,000 years. So there's no comparison. Here in 16 years we are getting white hair. So bottom line is, at that point of time, Dasharatha Maharaj has decided to crown Rama as the Prince of Ayodhya, and as the King of Ayodhya, and he would want to go to Vanaprastha. And then you have seen the story. You have seen the story of Bharata Maharaj. Kaikeyi wants Bharat to be the King of Ayodhya in his absence, and then we saw how Dasharatha Maharaj falls down and so on and so forth. So at any point, what is dharmagnya means? Dharmatma means the difference between focusing on rights versus duty. Rama is always duty bound rather than rights. It was his right to become the king. It was not there a day before, and it is not there the day after. It's overnight the things changed. He is the eldest son, and he's got every right to become the king, but then he wanted to fulfill the duty as the eldest son, the desire of his father, though Dasharatha Maharaj never asked him to go to forest. His father has promised his stepmother, really, Kaikeyi is the stepmother, but it is not even Dasharatha Maharaj's desire to Rama to go to forest, but circumstantially that is what it is, and he thought that is his duty to fulfill the responsibility as the eldest son of the family. That is his responsibility to fulfill father's boon to his mother, and he decided to go to forest rather than fighting for his rights. Duty versus rights. This is a constant fight that always happens in offices, right? People talk about rights, not about their duties. Today is 31st, it's my right to get my salary. It doesn't matter what work has been done or not done, basically, right? This is what we all in modern world worry about. It's all about rights, really. How many of us really think, am I doing my duty? Have I earned the right to get whatever I'm getting because of the duty I've done? Forget about work, and work is the easiest example. In real life, we all think it's our right to have 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nose, and one nose and everything. But we never think, this is to fulfill our duty to please the God. We always think of our rights rather than, if we think it's having all these karmendriyas is to fulfill the duty of serving God. If not, there's no purpose of this. We talked about this lot number of times actually in other classes also, basically. Rakshasas take boons and then fight against. They forget that and every Rakshasa, what is the biggest boon they all go after? Immortality. I want to live forever. And then what do you do with that? And then they think that is they have got that as their right, and then they can do anything after that. They are not worried about the duty that is fulfilled. That is combined with that particular right, or particular facility, or particular boon they have. In reality, all our life is the same thing. All our lives we are doing exactly the same thing. Yes or no? All our lives we are doing exactly the same thing. The moment we have slight difference in your blood pressure, you are actually going to doctor and he is giving you a boon to not to die with blood pressure. He is giving you a boon not to die with cholesterol. And if we do not take care of that boon and as an opportunity, that extension of life as an opportunity to serve the God, how are we different from Rakshasas? We think, it's our right to live forever. That day Gaurav Darshan Prabhu was giving this example. Telugu movies especially, the hero will have 1 gun in his hand and 10 guns, the other villains they'll be shooting, but hero will be running, it will go all over the place, but nothing happens to his body. We think the same way. We see death all over around us, but we think we are those heroes, nothing will happen to us. Because we are protected by so many medicines. We are also protected by same medicines basically. But we never realize that the span of, or the shortness or the length of the lifespan that we have. And our lifespan is a gift. Every day is a gift. And the gift comes with a responsibility and duty, not a right. That is what is being Dharma basically. So that's the focus, that's the thing that we need to learn from Lord Sri Ram. One who carries on his duties in all situations. In all situations. How many of us, we normally try to do something in our comfort zone. If it falls in our comfort zone, then only. Otherwise, especially in office basically. It is 5:30, after that, it's not my duty anymore, it's my right to go home. Right? IT industry is not like that, I guess, but most other industries, manufacturing industries are like that, right? So they just drop off everything at that point and move on, basically, right? So, anyway, willing to accept any sacrifices to perform duty. Willing to sacrifice, and be willing to accept any sacrifice to perform our duty. How many times, if you look back in 24 hours or in a week of your past week, how many times have we actually extended ourselves in terms of doing our duty versus thinking it's not my responsibility. Especially completing the rounds in Brahma Muhurta should be the duty. It should be a duty basically, right? It should be a duty basically. There's no compromise basically. Right? Focused on primary duty when performing secondary duties. Dharma versus Sanatana Dharma. What is Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma? Swadharma is duties of duties of the body, and Sanatana Dharma are the duties of the soul. So duties of the body, you have to do certain things because you are born as human being. You have to perform karma. Basically, you have to, because you have to do some karma. Otherwise, you can't even live. You have to feed your stomach and then you have to move on. So for that reason, you have to do certain things. But that is Swadharma. And then the Sanatana Dharma is beyond the Swadharma, you also have to take care of your soul. You have to take care of soul. So, a lot of people ask basically, how do we balance these two? Right? So we have to do our basic responsibilities, basic duties, and still at the same time have to do certain things for the soul. Right? So most people say, in the name of balance, 2 hours chanting, half an hour Mangalaharati, then you're going back to your routine. Right? So that's like, I mean, again, it comes back to the same thing. We are living at home, trying to do Sanatana Dharma, trying to do certain things for Sanatana Dharma, but then I have to do Swadharma. So for this, I have to do whatever it takes. But the goal has to be how Rama has put that into his activities. How he put Dharma into his activities, basically. So it's not about balancing. It should be about integrating the Adhyatmic thought process into Bhaudik thought process. Integrating of spiritual thought process into materialistic world. That should be our goal. That should be our goal. And the other day, in my class, one Mataji was asking, Prabhu, you're talking about 4 regulative principles. Four things to do. Association, books, chanting, and dying. Where do I start? Can I first think of all the 16 rounds and then worry about it? It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. All 4 has to go hand in hand. All 4 has to go hand in hand. You do 2 rounds. You study only 2 minutes of Bhagavad Gita sloka. You change one of your meal to be a prasad. Make sure you are coming to association. You don't leave your association. Cannot have 7 days of association. At least 1 day of that week, a physical association is needed. You start with that. Then you try to improve on how to make it to 4 rounds, how to make it to 2 meals of prasad, how to increase your 1 sloka to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then how to improve your association from 1 physical to 2 physical associations in a week, or couple of online associations in a week, and so on and so forth. That's how you want to use the word balance. That's how you integrate. Yes or no? That's the only way. That's the thing that we should learn from understanding these qualities of Lord. If you look at Ramachandra's life, at nowhere he has deviated from that dharma. At every place, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. The more difficult it is, the more we need to understand that we have to follow that dharma, even in undecided circumstances, basically. Right? It is even one. See, they say it's very easy to say lie, but it's very difficult to say only one lie. To make covering it up, another lie, something will add on this. Same with Gandhi book also he writes. It is very difficult to follow one principle to its core. The principle of being truthful. If you want to follow it to the core, that's all you do in your life. You don't have to have 100 principles. Just follow one principle. I want to be truthful. Just following that to the core, you have to follow all other principles to make one principle work. Right? So that's what we see in Lord Rama's life basically. He took his duty of going to Aranyavasa and to fulfill his father's boon to his mother, and then it doesn't matter how difficult it is, but he always stood for that principle. So then we'll go into the second quality. Satyavan, Satyam Palikewad. So under all circumstances, he always spoke the truth, basically. So when you say the truth, he did things to be truthful, and he wants the world also to see that he's leading a truthful life, basically. That's the reason why he even let Sita go into Agni Pravesh, and then just because he wants, Ramachandra wants all of us, or he wants all of us to take him as the golden rule, or the golden person that who has stood for the truth, basically. So he followed the word even when the whole world tried to oppose or suggest to change. So Father Dasarath Maharaj, again we talked about it to Kaikeyi. Even Dasarath Maharaj said, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. You don't have to go to forest. Lakshman Dev was ready to kill even Kaikeyi, ready to kill even Bharata, so that Ram does not have to go to forest. But just because that word that his father has given his word, and he wants to stand up to that word, and he went to the forest. We all know that Rama means Rama stories. Whenever Rama stories comes, so we talk about Eka Vachana, Eka Bhana, Eka Patni. So throughout his life, he stood for only with one person in his mind, that is Sita Devi. Right? That's the thing that we need to learn from this. Ekabana, once Ramabana, they say, right? Once it's gone, it's gone. There's no turning back. It's not, no circumstances can make it happen. That means, is he so careless that he doesn't react to circumstances? No, the circumstances themselves will adapt to him, basically. And because of the respect to Lord Rama. So certain things, we are not trying to say like, we should not try to attempt to think like, Rama, even Devatas were frightened of Rama, so we should also get that quality. So we should grow to a point where we can take Devatas to Devatas. That's not the point, basically. But the respectful nature that everybody were giving to Rama because of his Vairya Purushatva, and his character of such one. Once Rama has said that, that's it. There is no second thought to it, basically. Right? Yeah. So we'll go to the next this thing. Charitram kaligina vadu. Charitrena chukayukta. So behavior of a leader. The conduct that should inspire others. So as leaders, we should get those lessons from Lord Rama that even today, that's the reason why we call it Ramarajya, basically, because of the leadership qualities that Lord Rama had shown that time, that is exemplified, even stands as an example even to today. Again, Bhagavad Gita 3.21, it's we have learned that Yadhyacharati Sreshta Tat Divera Jana. Right? Yadhyacharati Sreshta Tat Divera Jana. So whatever the leaders do, the rest follow. Yada Raja, Tada Prasha. So what does that mean? Think 100 times before making it an action. Think 100 times before making it an action. So that's one of the most important character of a leader. You have to think twice, think thrice before making it an action. I'll talk about a small story. So we all know Sagar Mother, right? The Sagar Mother. This is one version of the story that is written in actually Basava Purana. That's more popular in Karnataka region. It's not. I don't think it's a more Sthana Purana. In the the Sagar Madhanam, right? Sagar Madhanam. How does the story goes? You have Devatas on one side, Rakshasas on one side, and they're shedding the milk ocean, and you are getting different products or different things that are coming out of that. So in that particular Purana, they actually writes like this. It is the Rakshasa Tattva and Devata Tattva, Devata Tattva fighting on a cause. So every day we have similar things basically. We want to make a decision. There is always this conflict or friction between the good and the bad. Both of them have to be, they try to divert you to one way or other way. Then what happens in the Sagar Madhanam? The first thing that came is we should follow, right? First thing that, so anytime you are thinking, the first thought that comes is definitely a negative thing. So you take that first thought and start running, you're actually running with poison. You should further continue till the second thought, the next thought, the first thought is the nectar. You have to wait till the nectar comes. That until then, you have to still further keep it. And don't go by your intuition. Don't go by your first thinking. Until that nectar comes in, you have to keep thinking. And let not that vishum cross even your throat. Just don't spell it out. Just don't even cross it out. Learn it from Ishvara, that you just keep it in your throat and don't make it into an action. Don't make it into a word. Don't make it into anything out of it. What happens? Then you get the nectar. And what do you do with the nectar? You distribute it to the Devata Tattvam, the goodness of your thinking process and not to the bad, the negativeness of the thinking process. And if some of it goes even to the negative thinking process, the nature will go like eclipse. That goes to the Rahu, Ketu, and then it will be abnormal and unnatural things will start happening. See what I'm saying? So the thought process should be like that. Then you distribute it to the good thinking process. Then only that will develop into a better result. And the better result is to go back to the Godhead. So what it is really means how our thought process should be. Prasad Prabhu gave us a beautiful session on the mind, the impact of mind, and how our thinking should be a couple of weeks ago. So we always talk about this example of body made of 24 elements, right? 20 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 20 are the gross body elements, and the 3 are subtle body elements, and then you have one more, right? And then you have Atma, Paramatma. Some books call it 25, 26 basically. There are 20 elements, 20 plus 3 plus 1, 24 elements that are materialistic. And then you have the spiritual world, which is only one. Honestly, it's only one. That's easy, right? That one should rule this 24. In all honesty, that one should rule this 24. We should climb up to that one. That one, the decisions have to come from that one. If you look at the 23 elements and then you have the 24th is Prakriti Trivana Tattva. If you take Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattva, and if you multiply all these 23, you have 72 combinations. Really. Our thinking process, our acting process comes out of one of the 72 combinations, the domination of one of the 72 things basically, right? We have to cross all those 72 elements. When there's a conversation between two people, honestly, this is what happens. We are in one of those 72 blocks and that person is one of those 72 blocks, and then there's a conversation happening. So now the result will be based on where we are coming from and where he is coming from. If you are speaking in the Sattva-guna and if he is hearing in his ears are in Tamoguna and he is hearing in Tamoguna, the result will be one. If he is hearing in Rajoguna, the result will be one. If he is hearing in Sattva-guna, the result will be one. Basically, right? So why I am saying all this is our thought process has to cross this 72 model and get it into that spiritual thinking. In the sense, how does it go into the spiritual thinking? How does it go into spiritual thinking? What does that mean really? Going into spiritual thinking means every thought, every action, anything that you are doing, you have to question yourself, how is it making me close to Krishna? How is it making close to Rama? How is it helping me to, in that Atma state, in that Atma Sakshatkara state, how is it helping my soul? That thinking if we are doing, then you can become great leaders like Rama. If that is not happening, then there is not so much importance to do that act. But still, because there is a materialistic world, you need to do it, just do it because, and without any importance to it. You understanding? This is how you actually integrate spiritual world into materialistic actions. You still have to do these activities, but you have to do that activity. While doing that activity, you question if it is helping you in spiritual or moving into spiritual face a spiritual space, if it is not helping so much, it's not so much important. It does not mean you should neglect it. Probably you have to do it, but it's one of silly things that are happening. Even if you're getting a big lottery ticket, and if that ticket money is not helping you to move into spiritual world, it's one of the most silliest things that happen in your life. Right? That's what we have seen in Parikshit Maharaj. He didn't care, he didn't mind what, it doesn't matter anymore now. After these 7 days, all this is zero for me. So these 7 days, the boon out of these 7 days is to figure out what I need and get out of this place. That's all. So that's the reason why they become that kind of leaders basically. And Lord Rama is that kind of leader, and he takes responsibility of anything and everything that he is doing, and he thinks 100 times before acting on a process basically. Ramayana sets the standard that is impossible to achieve, thus reading it inspires us to change. The purpose of reading Ramayana is, again, it's mentioned here, the purpose is to inspire us to change, not really understanding that story. Sir, Rama, you are saying Rama is a great man, but Rama sent Sita to forest after all the things and he left her in forest. This is the first question people ask whenever when is Rama really a great man? Is Rama truthful? Is Rama right person? Honestly, Sita didn't think Rama is the bad person. Rama did not enjoy sending Sita to forest. It is only we are bothered so much about it. See, we think living in palace versus living in forest is comfort versus non-comfort. When we move out of this materialistic zone and you are thinking in spiritual zone, it doesn't matter where you are living basically. Forest or the palace, they're exactly the same things basically. If that is not helping them to move to the spiritual world, then that thing is not of any importance. So we see that kind of stories even in Bhagavatam, where Radha and Krishna are separated. Once they were separated, they were at a spiritual plane, they are a lot more closer to each other. The same thing we see in Rama's case basically, right? After Rama and Sita are separated, they have spent mentally with each other more than before basically. That is the spiritual, because their thought process is beyond these 24 elements and they're united at the spiritual plane. So for us to get to that plane, we have to read Ramayana basically. For us to understand that kind of thought process of how to get out of the materialistic plane, we should read Ramayana more. Vidyavantu, highly knowledgeable person. So what is knowledge really? Highly knowledgeable person. Knowledge that is, see, Rama never felt like, I finished my 12th grade, I'm done. I finished my engineering, I'm done. Basically, constant learning. Learning has to be a constant process. It's not like C, C++, C hash or something else basically. At the end of it, that learning has to help us get closer to God. In the olden days, people would say, somebody who died without full life basically. If somebody who didn't live for 100 years and they died, they would say, Ayo, he left his body very soon. Just because he didn't have an opportunity to purify himself, he did not get that opportunity to purify himself to go to God basically. So we say, oh, he died early. His father had so much property, he did not get a chance to even enjoy anything in his life. That's how it has become basically. It's not about the property that he failed to enjoy. It's not about the marriage life he failed to enjoy. That's a different story, it's enjoyable or not, but he failed to enjoy that, failed to enjoy this. That's not what it is basically. Somebody did not have an opportunity means to live long, which means he did not have opportunity to purify himself before leaving the body. After all, this body is the greatest opportunity that mankind has to purify the soul, to make this as the last life. Right? We talked about it also a few times. The process of becoming parent means giving body to your soul so that the soul gets an opportunity to purify and make this the last life. That's all. The definition of parenting is that as simple as that. It's an opportunity to give a body to a soul so that the soul can purify itself before it leaves the body. The soul can make this as its last life. And if we as parents, if we as leaders cannot do that, then we have failed. We have failed not against something, we have failed against our own selves. They say like that, right? There are lots of rules, people don't obey the rule. He did not break a rule, he broke himself against a rule. People don't break against rules, they break themselves against rules. All rules are made by man. You can't break a rule, you just break yourself against a rule. If you don't follow a rule, it's not like, right? At the end of it, why do I say you broke yourself against a rule? You are responsible for it. Your karma is responsible for it. You are going to face the karma of it. The same thing happens if we don't engage ourselves in lifelong learning, the learning of rejecting materialistic world and engaging in spiritual activities. That's the opportunity this life has given us, and that's what we need to learn from Lord Rama. Every time he's interested, he's learning. See, Ravana, he fought all this thing to kill Ravana, and Ravana on his deathbed was teaching Rama certain things of life, and Rama was listening it like a student. Rama, at that point of time, there is not that enmity is not a factor anymore. Enmity is not a factor anymore, basically. We have seen how Arjuna learned lifelong lessons from Krishna. The 14 years of exile for Arjuna is to learn certain things, and that continued even with the Bhagavad Gita, and with what more Arjuna has learned is something. What do you want, Bala? Correct.
My dad's phone.
Your dad's phone.
He wants it.
So this is what we need to learn from Rama, the art of learning. What we need to learn from Rama is the art of learning. So he has that higher taste to learn more from sages. Was one of his internal desire of Rama to accept for 14 years of exile. He took that as an opportunity to meet lot of sages and learn certain things of life. So every day we have to keep our eyes open to certain portions of YouTube, not everything of YouTube basically, right? So that we have to, every day there is so much of new material is getting added to YouTube basically. From within ISKCON cycles, there is Rama, Radhesham Prabhu channel, every Prabhu, every Maharaj has a channel. And all those channels are getting a lot of new information basically. And all that information should not be data for us, but the source of transforming for us with only one goal, that is to go back to Godhead. So this is what we need to learn from Rama, from Sita and Lakshman, the art of learning to move into those directions, and that shows Rama's Vidwan character. And Viryavan. Viryavan means he's the most courageous person. Viryavan. So his courage follow the orders of Vishwamitra. So what orders did he follow from Vishwamitra? So we know the story. Vishwamitra comes to Dasharath Maharaj and asks, please send me your 2 sons. I'm doing Yajnam and I need their help to kill these Rakshasas. And one of the Rakshasas, Kataki, is a lady, female. And Rama hesitates whether should I kill her or not. But what does Vishwamitra says? Vishwamitra says, please go ahead. She's just a lady, but she is in a more demonic than most people. So the femininity is not there. Then there are 2 choices. Rama could simply say, no, my consciousness does not let me kill a woman. It doesn't matter how powerful she is. But then he chooses to listen to his guru. Let what the world might say, but my word, me following my guru's words is more important to me. Follow the orders of Vishwamitra. See, the courageousness of taking a decision means we have to have the same kind of courage to follow our guru. We have to have the same kind of courage to follow our guru. What is the purpose of guru in our journey to spiritual world? See, it actually is from a purport from Puranjan Charita. Again, I'm not going to Puranjana story. In Puranjana story, a time when Puranjana falls on the wife's feet because he made her angry for not taking her to forest and all that stuff basically. But in Prabhupada purports he writes, Puranjan, what is that? The role of Guru versus the role of God. The role of Guru is to take us out of the materialistic world. The role of Guru is to take us closer to the Spirit. The role of God is to take us closer to the Paramatma. You see what I'm saying? With only help of Guru, you can cross those 24 elements basically. And at the end after that, it's the Paramatma that attracts us to Him, and then that's when we have to go to spiritual world. What does it mean really? The role of Guru is only to a point to take you out of materialistic thought process. After that, your own effort has to be your effort. Even then, if you have not surrendered devotionally to Paramatma, then there is not so much going to happen. Having a Guru is the greatest opportunity in life. Having a Guru is the greatest opportunity to understand how these 24 elements are acting and enacting and how we are reacting to them basically. At that point, if we start surrendering, the moment you are vacating yourself, your mind is vacating itself from these 24 elements, then what is left is Atma Sakshatkar. That's the responsibility of Guru to take you to the point of Atma Sakshatkar. At that point, if you start surrendering, then the Paramatma starts listening and starts you to attract towards Him basically. So this is what we need to learn from Rama. His surrender. He is God Himself, born in a human being, and He was telling us why we should surrender and how we should surrender. It doesn't matter it's popular or not, right? So then his courageous. He has one goal to take care of Sita. He has one goal to get rid of Ravana, and he decides to build the bridge across Lanka, right? So when you follow dharma, then you automatically get to the point of Viryavan, basically. It will happen one way or other. That's what Guru will put you closer to the God, will put you closer to the Paramatma, and then you are not acting, you are not alone, working for yourself. There is Paramatma working for us, basically. And that's the character we need to learn from Rama, from his Viryavan character. Dealing with all relationship, keeping ideals in front of him. Right? Never give up a fight when there is a need. 14,000 soldiers defeated in a single-handedly. So these are all different things that we see of Lord Rama. Courageous does not mean not being fearful. It only means not to give up even when there is fear. Courageous does not mean not being fearful. It only means to give up even when there is fear. That happens only when you have the support of the ultimate Paramatma. So the other day, there's a message circulating within Sevani Mataji's message. Krishna consciousness never took me away did not make my life perfect, but let me handle imperfections better. It never made my life perfect, but it let me handle imperfections better. Because imperfections are always going to be there. That's the nature of materialistic world. If it is designed to have the imperfections so that you run for a perfect world. You have to think of a perfect world. Until then, otherwise you feel here not too comfortable, right? So that's more about the Viryavan character of Lord Rama. Let's get on to Gunavantudu. Under all circumstances, you can't lose your ground. Great qualities filled in the personality. Remaining extremely humble despite of all the talents. Lord Rama has so many talents. Yes, right? With the way he was able to kill the Rakshasas or any of those things basically. The way he stood up to the word that he has given. But his humbleness is something that we need to learn to. Today, if we get little bit successful with the person you are comparing. Right? You're never going to be successful, ultimate successful person. There's nothing like ultimate success in materialistic world. It's all relative term, right? Success is relative term. If you feel like you're little successful against somebody that you are comparing with, your humbleness is down, basically. Right? You become so great about it. God is so merciful to me. That's the word you say. But that is, God is more merciful to me. The me is bigger than mercy part, basically. The emphasis is on the me part, basically. Then where is humbleness? People, I keep hearing people, with the mercy of God, I was able to get this job. The I is very big in that. The I is very big. The God is very low, small in that, honestly. That is the humbleness. You talk about humbleness, nothing but you can talk about only humbleness when you see life of Sita. You can talk about only humbleness when you see life of Bharat Maharaj, Lakshman Dev. Our most humble person is Satrugna. Satrugna was never in the limelight. Satrugna was never in the limelight. See, sir, he's only serving Bharat Maharaj, right? Dasa Dasa. Bharata is serving Ram, and Satrugna is serving only Bharat Maharaj. When everybody is opposing him, and everybody was standing against Bharat Maharaj, right? We talked about that last Ramanavami also. I think we talked about that story here. Bharat Maharaj, everybody, the whole Ayodhya is angry with Bharata. They think, it's only because of Bharat Maharaj this whole story happened. So when he was going out, they would be throwing stones at him. So he would wake up at 3 o'clock and go to the river and finish the bath and come back, because before the life starts, he would go and come back. And Satrugna would make sure that Bharata is safe, basically. And the whole world is against him. This man is serving you. Because only Bharata is serving Lord Rama. This is humbleness, basically, right? So Bharat Maharaj, the whole world is opposing him, but he's only living by serving the lotus feet with the Padukla of Lord Rama, basically. Lakshman Dev, he never left Rama. When Sita left Rama for 1 year, Sita left Rama for the rest of life. The day from the point of birth till the point of his death, Lakshman Dev was there with Rama, with the same humbleness. It's not easy, Prabhu, to have that kind of humbleness in serving Lord. When will that happen? We know that we are serving Lord. We are serving Lord, and it has to be unconditional. This is the kind of humbleness Lord Rama wants his brothers, Lord Rama wants everyone in this world to have. Without that, why does Lord Rama wants this? Unless we have these characters. Unless we have these characters, we cannot impress him. Unless we impress him, we cannot get out of this world. Right? That's what. Why would I need to? This is the examination. He's giving you 16 points. Please pass through at least 10 of them, 5 of them, 4 of them, at least one of them. If you can pass through the core of it, when you can pass through all 16 of them, you are as great as the Lord Himself. Then you get Sarupya. Right? That is Sarupya. Same as God. Sarupya Bhakti means you have to get all those things, basically. Right? Then he broke the bow. He broke the bow into 2 pieces. He said, Sita Devi was trying to come with the garland. What are you doing? I just followed the Guru's orders. I am not ready for this. He asked me to lift it. He asked me to take care of this bow, and it broke on the process. And that's all my responsibility is. It broke on its own. I didn't do anything. I was only trying to fix it, basically. And it broke. That's the humbleness, basically. You see that in Dharmaraj. You see that again, Lord Rama. See, we talked about this also a lot of times when we talk about Dharmaraj. So the whole courtyard that told him, you are at fault, you lost your kingdom. And Dharmaraj very clearly knew that. He is being cheated. But he never said even single word. If I say I have been cheated, I am actually insulting Vishnudev. I'm actually insulting Dronacharya. I'm actually insulting Dhritarashtra. I'm actually telling them that they are all wrongdoers. By just saying that, you have tolerated all this. Probably it is just my karma that I have to go through this. That's all. So that's the height of humbleness basically. That's the height of humbleness. Yesterday in class we were also talking about how Dharmaraj treats Duryodhana. You know the word meaning of Duryodhana? The root word for Duryodhana is Yodha, warrior. Duryodhana means bad warrior. Bad warrior in the sense, it's very difficult to fight him. It's such a bad warrior. Right? Otherwise, he's a bad warrior. There are two meanings. The positive meaning is he eliminates anybody bad. It's very different. He's a very bad warrior. But when we call Duryodhana, we don't know whether he takes it positively or negatively. Dharmaraj never called Duryodhana Duryodhana. He only calls him Suyodhana. You're a good warrior. You're the greatest of the warriors. Doesn't matter how bad person you are. You're the greatest of the warriors. Suyodhana. So that's humbleness basically. Yeah? And the person is trying to kill him. Suyodhana, you want to kill me? That's not the right thing to do. See that is the height of humbleness. You find only few people characters, right? And that Lord Rama again showed that kind of humbleness. And to Kaikeyi and said, "You want me to go to the forest? You don't have to do all this stuff. You just have to tell me I would have gone." Zero anything negativity, 100% tolerance basically. That comes only out of a great character. Great character, basically. Why am I giving you the example of Dharmaraj or Yudhishthira is, we can say Ram is the God, but Yudhishthira is not. Yudhishthira is simple soul. He's a simple soul like us, basically. And he was able to do that only because of his guna and his surrender. He surrendered to the God. Use the best weapons only to protect the innocent and punish the miscreants. But Rama had all the weapons, but they were used only to protect the innocent. The expert in judgment, in justice, in Vali versus Sugriva story, we have seen how he kills Vali and he fixes Sugriva basically, right? So first to approach others to converse, not waiting to be respected by others. We react. We want to talk to somebody based on how that person respects us. Then we judge and then we react. That's not guna, that has guna. Because a person with this kind of guna, he only sees conversation at a soul level. Nothing beyond that. Nothing below that basically. Right? So this is one of the characteristics we need to learn from Lord. Share the pain of people, not just provide solutions to their problems. Sometimes we might not be able to provide solutions to people's problems, but at least we should stand by them in their grief. That solves half the problem basically, right? So these are some of the lessons we should learn from Lord Rama. Same person inside out. This is more difficult task, right? Same person inside out basically. No duality. So we do a lot of acting in office basically, right? Without acting, world doesn't move basically. Yeah. But there is no duality in Lord Rama's character basically. So duality does not help you progress spiritually. Duality can never help you progress spiritually. That's it. How difficult, how hard the decision of telling the truth, or the decision of being the right, admitting to be right, it might result in certain short-term materialistic issues. Materialistic issue is short-term. But any materialistic issue, even if you think it's long-term, but it is short-term in the life of the soul, in the span of the journey of the soul, basically, right? So our character has to be built to a point that you have to be inside out. So we'll try to get to the next character. Dyutima, Tejas, charismatic Tejas, personality. We see that, right? And certain people, when we meet, they leave that spell on us. Some people, see, basically, I don't know if you ever met some of these celebrities, you'll feel their charisma. Are they using it for a right purpose or not? That's a different story basically. You always find such people. And Lord Rama has that charisma basically, right? Perfect in his gestures and in his mannerisms, gestures and actions. Truly carrying in nature, winning everybody's heart. Carrying to even animals, trees in the forest. He carried the same charisma. Where does this charisma come from? Honestly, it is not by birth. It is by character. When you build that character only, that charisma comes. The truthfulness comes. Without the truthfulness, you can easily say when somebody is faking or is he telling it from core of his heart. Probably somewhere intermediate we might not be able to judge, but if he's 100% faking or is he 100%, when somebody is speaking 100% from their heart, you can easily tell that. Right? That's what actually happens to, and people who can manage this are the ones that become politicians, I guess, basically. They have the natural charisma, but then once they get to power, they start faking it. They misuse the charisma. So that is where these characters should help stand on with this. Why am I saying this is personally I had an experience with one of the chief ministers. So I was meeting him in person basically. So because of our work or something, they called us, and I really felt he's such a charismatic person. The way he was acting, he was talking, he was behaving. I really felt for him basically. But at the end of next day newspaper, you can see how nonsense he is basically. That is misusing of the charisma. So this is all sinful thing. If you misuse your charisma. So Lord Rama is such a charismatic person, and he's coming because of the character, or because of the dharma he is standing for, because of the things he is learned and is standing for basically. And as leaders, we are supposed to cultivate that, and that happens only once you are inside out the same person basically. A lot of people run businesses just out of their charisma, and then they have to stand up to it. If not, they'll just become actors. And we've seen those politicians also who become just actors, and then they lose everything. Then let's get to the next character. Sarva Loka Priya, Andari Premanu Undinavadu. So Lord Ramachandra is loved by everybody. See, when he enters the forest area, the King Guha, who's crossing him the river, he started loving him. The little squirrel started loving him. So they basically, why would somebody love him so much? Because he loves them so much. He loves them so much. Only when you can love somebody, it cannot be one way. Love cannot be one way. It can be one way only means it is just acting basically. Right? Every citizen of Ayodhya loved him. That's the reason why there was so much resistance when Rama wants to go into forest. If you go through the whole Ramayana, Prasad Prabhu read through the whole thing in 41 days or so. Correct me, Prabhu, if I'm saying something wrong here. So, after Rama comes back to Ayodhya with Sita from Lanka, and then he's coronated as prince, then a lot of these kings, Samantas were asking Rama, why did you not tell us? Why did you not let us be part of your fight against Ravana? That's how they love. Then none of them are ready to go back to their kingdoms because they still want to spend time with Rama. Janaka Maharaj does not want to go back to Mithilanagar because he spent so many days with Rama after Rama is incarnated, and Rama had to tell him, boss, it's time to go back. You have to go now. Mithilanagar is there without a king. And there's a conversation between Janaka Maharaj and Rama. Janaka Maharaj tells, it's just because of my duty I have to go back. Otherwise, I just want to spend my rest of my life here with you, Rama. Right, Prabhu? You have read those things? And then a lot of those kings, they say we don't want to go back. We just want to stay in the presence of Rama, basically. When such kings do this, when we talked about this, and then such kings do Aswamedha Yaga, Rajasva Yaga, people are just waiting to become his slave, his servants, to become, get an opportunity to serve such kings, basically. That's the power Lord Rama had across all living entities around him basically. So we have to try to inculcate that by our kindness in our actions and dealings. Why would people love us? People love us because they have a big bank balance. That's temporary. After a while, that bank balance is over, then nobody cares about you basically, right? Then see how does this love thing actually work? How does this love thing actually work? It becomes bidirectional only when it comes through Paramatma level. When it happens at Paramatma level. Until then it is materialistic. Until then it's materialistic. Two people can be in true love not because both of them like at mind level or intelligence level. Liking at ego level will be worse basically. Liking at physical level, no, they have to get the bondage at Paramatma level. This person should be able to communicate with his Paramatma, and that person is able to communicate with their Paramatma. And those two people are always in communication. And what does that mean? The common binding factor for two people to truly to be in love has to be God. It has to be God-centric life. Until then, there is no true love. The closest to that you see is really mother's love. And because there is in the child, the Paramatma, the child, all these 24 elements are so benign, that so absent basically, that the Paramatma is in its full force, and that is acting on the person sitting next to him and next to him, next to him. That's why we feel that so much of love in that child, and we feel we reciprocate so nicely. When these 24 elements start to act, we become our personality, what we call it. It is nothing but our way of utilizing our freedom. When that starts to dictate, you can never become Sarvaloka Priya. When that becomes limit, infinity tends to zero, right? That's what it should happen. The materialistic thinking of these 24 elements should tend to zero, and our affiliation to God, Paramatma, should tend to from zero to infinity. Only then that story will happen. Right? So, very consciously we have to work towards that kind of love. And there is God, there is Ramachandra, there is Sita Devi, Radha, Krishna, they are ready to give us that in abundance. And if we don't pick it up, if we don't make a choice to pick it up, then we can never make it a choice to extend to others. I think we'll try to make it fast. Tradavrata. Tradavrata means Tradamaina Sankalpa. So we learn so many things, but it can become into action, or it can become part of your life only when you have the determination to make it happen. Once you make that determination as your base choice, the basic choice of your life has to be determined to stand up to one of the qualities of Lord Sri Rama. Committed to the cause one takes up. Every act done in the highest quality in all roles. It doesn't matter what role Rama was in. He was determined to stay to the dharma, stay to the guna, and all those things basically. And we also, it doesn't matter what phase of life you are in, it's never late to be determined in learning these lessons and fixing your life. Go to any extent to protect others. When Vibhishana is coming, everybody said he's not to be trusted. But Rama was determined to trust him because he was asking for Saranagati, basically. He was asking for his surrendering, he's asking for his protection, he's asking for an opportunity to serve him. And Rama was determined to take care of anybody who surrenders that way, and asks him for an opportunity to serve him. That's the determination mind of Lord Rama. Shelter to everyone, despite of all objections. Accepting Vibhishana in between the war. If he is able to accept Vibhishana, he can easily accept us at any point of time. It's accepting that what is stopping us from him to accept us is just us, we with It's our determination to surrender. Following 14 years of exile to the highest standards of eternity, he was determined to follow. See, he never entered into any village also. He never entered into any this thing also. He was determined. He was determined to live only in the forest. Because that's the thing Satyavak means. That's the thing you want to fulfill, and then he has to fulfill it. The core of it. How much of are we determined to eat only prasad? Forget about forest living and all this stuff basically. How determined are we to just one condition, one little rule that we wanted to follow. You see what I'm saying? It's not easy to be in that determined state basically to follow that. Within 2 days, that some question will come into our mind. Is this really working? Is this really going to work if I eat only prasad?
This is needed.
Sorry, Prabhu?
This is needed.
This is needed?
That question will come.
That question will come up within 2 days. Within 2 days, you will see somebody. Maya will come in one or other form in trying to put that question basically. What happened to your own intelligence? Why are you doing this? That question will come. That is all testing us to the core of our surrender to Guru, core of our surrender to the cause of living this life, living this body, and making this the last birth basically. How determined are we to make this the last birth? Right? This at least we have to learn from Lord Rama to see how determined he was in spending those 14 years to the principles that he put himself to. Enthusiasm never goes down in any situation. Our enthusiasm to stick to your principle, how enthusiastic are we to stick to your principle? That we have to question ourselves, Prabhuji and Mataji. Unless we question that, we can't stand determined. Unless we are determined, how can we get out of this Janmanuchi Jaravyadi cycle? This lifetime only. You want to get out of this lifetime, then you have to be determined. That's it. There's no other rule. There's no other shortcut to it, basically. Right? So, at least we should pick on some of these qualities from Lord Rama. Once you have that determination, automatically you will get samrataha, samadhatva. Basically, it automatically, the God is there to make you qualified for the activities that you are picking up. And people say, when they say when we hear Gauranga Prabhu or Radhesham Prabhu or any of these people, it's God making me do it. And that is true. Their activities are actually being taken care by Krishna only. All that they are doing is determined to do that. And the capacity to do the activity is coming from external forces. If they think it's coming from themselves, then they fall off immediately. Then they are not even sticking to the humbleness of what we are doing, basically. Right? So, the book, again, most of the characters that we see we cannot pick and choose. They go entangled or tangled with each other, basically. Highly focused in any level of pressure. Then see, how much focused are we at the height of pressure, basically? Unless we make that a habit to be focused even at the height of pressure, right? We give up. If we give up, then there's nothing like that, right? We're watching cricket. So some of those overs are so pressuresome, basically. Well, the guys who can handle the pressure are the ones who win the game, basically, right? That's the same thing. The moment you are able to handle the pressure from Maya, only then you are going to win the game. The pressure from Maya is like that. It's always there from all directions. It can come in the form of a family member, neighbor, a mosquito or something, basically. But the pressure is always there. Right? Do anything to complete the task. Do anything to complete the task. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, but to complete the task that you have decided to fix your mind on. He collaborated with Vanaras, he built the bridge, he convinced the ocean to give him the way. All those things will happen automatically once you are so determined on your cause. every skill used not to prove it works, but to benefit others in all situations. So your skills are not to prove yourself. Your skills are not for proving yourself, but for helping others. This is exactly what opposite happens in the workforce, right? We always use our skills to enhance our career and make sure it's never helping others. That is anti-spiritual, right? Then he delivered 7 trees and the 7 brahmanas cursed by Agastya Rishi. Do you know this story?
Yeah.
So there are 7 trees that we hear the story. Rama hit one arrow and all the 7 trees fell down. Basically, those 7 trees are brahmanas in their previous life, and they were cursed by Agastya Muni. Agastya Muni, and then Ravana delivers them. So this is how the story goes. Wali holds those 7 trees, bends them, and he releases them. When he bends them and releases them, with that pressure, all the leaves of the trees falls off. So Sugriva tells Wali, if you are able to at least hold one tree and you get the leaves falling out of it, I will believe you have some capacity to help me to defeat Wali. Then Rama tells Sugriva, I am here to help you. Then Sugriva is not ready to believe on Rama's capacity. Then Rama, not only, because there's actually the whole story goes that 7 Brahmana kids, they learn some skills. So they learn some skills and they want to put their skills to test. In the previous point you have seen, those skills should be useful to help others. So they create a Maya snake, a snake out of nothing, and they take the forms of trees and they stand on the snake, basically. So that when the snake moves, the trees can move, basically, right? They don't have roots, they're just standing on the trees. But when somebody comes, they feel that as if they're all standing trees. Agastya Muni comes that way, and these 7 Brahmana boys, what they do is, they put the snake is in a round shape, and they try to shrink the snake. As the snake is shrinking, the trees round up the Muni. So the trees are coming closer to the Muni, and the Muni is getting entrapped into the trees. Muni sees this and he understands what these boys are doing. He curses them. You are so much enjoying in being the trees. Please spend the rest of your life as trees. So they're stuck as trees basically on that particular snake basically. So they're waiting for Rama to come and deliver them. And this is the tree. These are the trees that Wali is playing with. And then Sugriva challenges Rama if he can at least bend one tree the way Wali used to bend all 7 trees in one shot, basically. Then Rama, he goes and stands on the head of the snake, and then the whole tray, 7 trees straighten up basically as the snake gets these things. And when all the 7 trees are straightened, he just leaves through does one bana, sends one bana, one arrow. Then all the trees, all the leaves fall down, just not the leaves, all the trees fall down, and then the Brahmanas get delivered from the curse basically. So it shows then Sugriva understands what I'm dealing with is not normal here. Basically, it's something lot more powerful than Wali and powerful than anything that I can imagine. Yes. So this is the capacity of Ramachandra. He had the capacity all along. He doesn't really have to take care of Sugriva's help or anybody's help to do what he's doing, but he includes all of them because of that's his nature. That's what he wants to prove basically. It's not about just coming and killing Ravana and going back. Because that leads us to the next quality. Jita Krodha. Krodhani Jaincha means controlling the anger versus anger controlling us. Right? We know the situation when anger controls us. Right? That's what happens when 2 vehicles just touch each other. You can see anger controlling both the people there on the road. Right? And then the entire rest of the people watch it like a movie. But because the anger is controlling them, at the end of it, at that point, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to fix the dent. The dent is still there. It's just satisfaction of ego. Just speaking out of ego. The anger is controlling the ego basically. You have become slave to the anger. Why? Because you are not in the best state of any of these 24 elements. They are sitting in their particular chambers. All of them are trying to be more active and totally taking you out of the soul consciousness, basically, right? So, controlled by anger versus controlling anger. When can you actually control anger? When you are outside the state of materialistic thought process. Anything is temporary. Duality, we see that Stita Prajnatvam. Stita Prajnatvam is a nice principle, nice law. Getting away from duality is a very, very nice thing to say, very easy thing to say, but when you want to practice it, it's very difficult. And that is only possible. That is only possible with the help of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So once to get out of the duality state, it's not just possible with how many Vedas you read or how many yajnas you do or how many homas you do perform, and nothing, none of them can help you. Only that helps you get out of the duality is surrender to the God. So Rama has shown us how to control his anger, act anger and not be angry. Just use the angry feeling basically, right? Anger was only a medium to remind others of their responsibility. So when you act anger, then the other person gets reminded of his responsibility. When you are acting in anger, then you have to remind yourself of your own responsibility. Right? You are going to cause some bigger damage. What does really causing damage means? You are simply signing up for another lifetime basically. So, right? Then Atmavan. ఎదుటివారిలో మంచిని చూసేవాడు ఆత్మవాన్. Be able to see only the good in others. That's also not an easy task. When Krishna tells once Duryodhan, please bring the best human being from the city. Then Duryodhan went and said, everybody are worse than everybody is worse. I'm the best of the rest basically. You are dealing with the best of the worst people in the city. When the Dharmaraj went and said, Dharmaraj said, all of them are much better than me. I don't know who to pick. It's the same village. It's the same village. It's the same task both of them are doing. But the perception with which they are doing the task is different. So the character of being able to see good in others, is not an ordinary task. It can happen only when you are such self-composed, calm in all uncertainties and not agitated. Only then we will be able to see the good in others. In all honesty, if you can inculcate this particular habit over a period of time, you will easily become loved to God. You will be loved by God basically. Dealt with the disturbed mind of 14 years of exile, and the Lord was totally calm. He never, that's exactly what we are saying, discussing also Dharmaraj. He never felt any disturbance of the exile that he had to spend, or the Ajnatavas they have to do basically. Worshipping God, despite the time constraint. Dealing with Bharata, when he visited to bring Ram back to Ayodhya. When Bharata came to a forest to take Ram back, Lakshmana was saying, Bharata is here to kill us, he's not letting us live here. Before he comes, I'm going to finish them off. Then Rama said, no, don't worry, that's not going to happen. Let's see first what he has come for. We have to give him the benefit of talking, basically, the benefit of chance. Same thing with dealing with Surpanaka, right? So he was only able to see good in others, basically. If we can inculcate this kind of habit that Lord Rama has, will always automatically be very dear to Lord Rama. Then Sarvabhuteshu hitaha. Desiring the goodness of all other living entities. Annu pranula manchu korevaru. Just to desire well-wishing of everybody, well-wishing of all elements of the God. When can we do that? We can do that only when we understand everybody is the child of God. It's just that different opportunities we have. One soul has the opportunity of living in human being. One soul has an opportunity of taking birth as an animal or something else. Yes. One had an opportunity of living in Kondapur, one has an opportunity of living in Telapur. But still, just be able to see the soul connectivity. The only connectivity is soul connectivity. The soul connectivity there, basically, right? When we see that, only then we will be able to be someone that wishes for everybody's goodness. Jatayu is one of the lowest of bird species. And Lord Rama actually did the what do you call samskara, antima samskara, final rites of Pindakan, which he has not done even to Dasarath Maharaj. Which even he could not perform to Dasarath Maharaj, but he took care of that. Just not Jatayu. We see that in many of animals and other things that he did the final rites during 14 years. This happened during the COVID period. I actually met one person in Bangalore, one of my visits to Bangalore. He and his friend, they almost did 300 Antima Samskaras during COVID period. Just anybody, he would give his number in the hospital. They give his number in the hospital. If their family is not ready to take care of him, just call me. And he and his friend, both of them, did almost 300 to 350 karmakandas per people. And most of the times, they would call. Most of them are some people whose children are living in America and so on and so forth. They were ready to send some funds, but they were not in a position to come. Even if they wanted to come, basically, he was like, the worst part was that when his family is calling from America. This is one habit in America, right? Cost comparison. They would call from there and say which of these two options is cheaper. Whether in this they would see it in the web, and this cemetery is cheaper and that cemetery is cheaper. And my friend used to say, don't worry, I find even cheaper. You don't send any money, but let me give me the Gopra and name. I'll finish the task. Honestly, that is not a normal service, basically. Doing such service, this is if we do not deliver those dead time, if we do not do the karmakanda, they will come back. The ghostly life they will have. I should help them. And he's not somebody Krishna consciousness, honestly. He's just a normal person. He's like a junior lecturer in a college, in an engineering college. He's a junior lecturer. He and he's a one more lecturer, both of them. I said, like, when you're able to do this so much, was your family okay? No, none of them even know about it. we slept. They were worried. Both of them, they were worried. They were also worried that they might get COVID and the family might get COVID. For 10-15 days, they were only sleeping in the college. They were not even going to home, basically, because to keep them isolated. Yeah, anyway, so that kind of service, when will it happen? When can anybody do it? Is only when you are able to see that commonality in every living entity, and the commonality is not coming out of any of the materialistic elements, but it only can come out of the spiritual element, really, right? Then accepting Sabari's offerings and keeping all the moral wisdom. Then Kritagnya means one who has so much of Kritagnyata. Being grateful to even small service when somebody does to us. Being grateful to, you were so grateful to the small service that the squirrel was performing. The little sand that it is throwing, he never saw what kind of contribution it is doing, but with what kind of attitude it is doing. So this is another habit that we should inculcate in ourselves, to be grateful to even smallest of the service that we receive. We see a lot of places, we see that lesser in Krishna consciousness, but in other temples or places, everybody expects some service to be done for them rather than they want to do some service, basically. Even when you enter Dharmashala, Dharma, Dharma Bhojanashala and places there also, they're more worried of whether they're being served nicely or not, basically. Right? So we have to be grateful for even the smallest service that is happening. Until that happens, how can we, if we are not able to respect or be grateful to the service that we are receiving and that's happening around us, how can we be ever grateful to God? We can't have double standards. We can't be grateful to human people and say, I can be grateful to God. Unless you tell me you are God, I am not going to be grateful to you. It doesn't work that way. We don't know if the God is coming in that form and asking us for that service, basically. He's testing if we are able to serve Him or not. We are being grateful to the things that we have received or not. Right? That responding back to God, thanking Him for every service we receive should be the easiest way to be grateful about the services that we are receiving. Remembering everyone at all times, during coronation, he remembered that he could do something for Bharat, Vibhishna, Sugriva, but all he could not do anything for Jatayu. So he took care of, he reciprocated Hanuman, he reciprocated Vibhishna, made him the king of Lanka. Though they all wanted to stay in Ayodhya, he said, your responsibility is just like the way Vishnu sent Dhruva to rule the Dhruva kingdom, Rama sent Vibhishna to his kingdom and asked him to rule in the Dharmic way. The last two characters, Satyavakya, Satyam Palikevadu, Jatarasasya Samyama. Be angry only when needed. You can become angry only when needed. Always speak truth. That's what we have seen in. When you have some of these characters, you can always be, you will always be only truthful, nothing else. And then here, see, patience and anger. Anger and patience. Absence of patience is anger. Right? Absence of patience is anger. If you are angry, you can. Patience and both of them don't exist in coexist basically, hand in hand. So Rama could bring his anger only when needed, or at least pretend to be anger when needed, basically, right? So when Sugriva promised him that he will help him to locate Sita, and then he has forgotten, he pretends, or he gets that angry, and then he sends Lakshman, and then he brings Sugriva back to his senses, and then the story continues. So we see these things. These are the 16 characters that we have discussed in Rama in response to that particular sloka in which there are Narada Muni talks about there are 16. Is there anybody with these 16 characters? What does that mean is that at least basic 16 characters are needed for our life to get out of this materialistic world. But when you read and when you discuss Ramayana, there are a lot more characters that Rama has. There are certain scripts that talk about 24 characters of Lord Rama and so on and so forth, basically. But today we had opportunity on this Rama Navami to talk about 16 characters of Lord Rama. With the mercy of Leela Prabhuji and the Guru Parampara, I had this opportunity of serving you all with this class today. If there are any questions, we'll spend little time and then we then we'll do one kirtan before we close the session. Right, Prabhu? Any questions?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
It will be
Krishna.
wonderful session.
Hare
Thank you so much. So my question is on the duplicity, Prabhu.
Yes.
So you have been working in corporate sector for decades, right? So I have this question. Two questions I have basically. One, how does duplicity take you away from Krishna? And second one, in this era of AI and fast running space corporate culture, right? How do we avoid duplicity materially as well as when I say materially at office as well as at home?
Yeah.
I'm more worried about how duplicity can keep us away from Krishna. And then the second question is
So duplicity is like dual life, right?
Yeah.
Duplicity is like living dual life. So a lot of people in the call centers, they have one name for the phone call and one name. Yes, you have seen those people. So and then the behavior. When you pick up a phone, there's a different name. Actually,
Even US names.
yeah, US names, and because you're working in US timings. So at some point that takes over your life. So what happens is starts duplicity as a responsibility, and then you get used to duplicity, and that duplicity becomes part of you, and then you start using the same duplicity in the family life also. Once you are in duplicity, then easily you can cheat yourself that you have Prabhu.
Krishna also.
That's exactly, cheat yourself in your service to Krishna. So by doing service versus pretending to do the service, that's the first casualty of duplicity. And once that creeps in, then next life you're a nice actor. Basically, you'll be born as a nice actor. Based on your karma, you'll remain as a side actor or regular actor. Sorry, Prabhu.
A choreographer.
Yeah, so he becomes a better director. Better create duplicity, make believe life becomes make believe basically, right? So how do you handle duplicity in work? All honestly, is everybody at work living in duplicity, Prabhu? Not really. If it's still your choice, I'll tell you one small example. When I was 8th standard, one person came to my house. My father brought him to my house. He's his English teacher. My father's English teacher. Some distinct relative also. So he was with a boy. He was asking me what you want to become in life and all those things. So I was talking actually, and I asked him, what made you choose the profession you are in? He was asking me why that profession, this profession. So now like little ego or whatever you can say, why he's asking so good questions. I want to ask him, what made you choose the profession you are in? Then his qualifications are BA, BL, BEd. BA, BL, BEd. BA, BL means he's a lawyer. So he said he was a lawyer. 2 cases he went to court. He realized he cannot live dharmic life if he's in that profession, and he became an English teacher.
Awesome.
That was the response he gave me. No, that killed all the ego or whatever I'm asking the question in basically. But that stayed with me for a very long time. I mean, no offense to other careers. I'm a mechanical engineer. The first job is brake inspector. I cannot do this. I mean, I was almost this close to becoming a brake inspector. And I cannot do this. I was ready to take up anything else. I was only praying, that's all. I can't say anything no to my father. And luckily, I ended up where I am. There's luck or not, good or bad, that's a different story to judge later on. But Prabhu, so the choice is always there, bro. And I gave you the first example of the career. But as you go in the career, the worst thing that can happen is you lose that job, right? That is still better than losing your opportunity to spiritual process. That is still better than losing your opportunity to spiritual process. So and I'm not saying that's an extreme step I'm talking about. And one doesn't have to go to that extreme step. If you are really not living in duality, certain things in work will happen in your favor only for that reason, including appraisals. There will be certain works in the office that are bestowed upon only those people who are not exhibiting the reality. The trustworthy jobs will automatically come. So that's what I would think we should tackle it in the corporate world. Hope I helped some piece of it. Any other questions? Hare Krishna. I think so. Another 5 minutes, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
One of the quality, Gunavar, humble despite of all talent and all. You have mentioned some example of breaking a bow in the middle and
Sorry, bringing a
bow
Ah,
in middle. What is that actually?
No. I was just telling the story how the Sita Swayamvar. So Rama, there are two things actually there. Rama just followed he did not even know that he's part of a Swayamvar there actually. Vishwamitra asked him, a lot of people are failing, why don't you pick up the bow? And then he picked up the bow, all that he has to do is tie the rope basically. Bend it down and tie the rope basically. That's all he was trying to do and it broke. And then the byproduct of it is marriage, basically, right? And then Sita knew that whoever could lift the bow and who can fix the bow becomes her husband. Then he never took pride in it, and when Sita was ready to garland him, he was all confused basically. And then the second part of the story is when as Rama they're going to the Ayodhya after that along with Sita, Parasuram comes. But the same thing happens. Parasuram says, you are the one who destroyed the Sivadhanush. No, I have not destroyed it. I only tried to fix it and it got destroyed. That was his answer basically. You see what I'm saying? That it failing is not my fault. That was his humbleness basically. And then he says, oh, you are such a great person, then can you fix the Vishnu Dhanush basically? And then he brings the Vishnu Dhanush and then he breaks it. And then Parashurama understands this is Rama is a not normal person. Actually, in one of the books, actually, it is said that Parashuram then sees the Goloka Krishna in Rama. There's the reference of Goloka Krishna in Ramayana at that point. Krishna is actually after Rama Avtar, right? But that's a place where you have the reference to Goloka Krishna by Parashuram. And he sees Rama also, you are the Goloka Krishna I've been searching for. Then he gets the benediction to see actual Krishna, and then he stays till the Dwapara Yuga and he sees Krishna like this. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
If someone says that Rama has all these great qualities because he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but how can an ordinary person can have this kind of qualities? What kind of answers we should give?
See, Rama had all these great qualities because he's Supreme Personality of God, but he never exhibited the quality of being Supreme Personality of God. He exhibited all the qualities as human being. But I understand the question to some extent. Behind the mind, he is. Behind the personality, the persona is Supreme Personality. That's why I try to bring in some examples from Mahabharata, where Dharmaraj is an example, Arjuna is an example in those things. Probably that's the easiest way to explain those people, that these people have learned those qualities and they have exhibited and they have succeeded in their endeavor. Right?
Taking examples from
Other. But again, yes, Rama exhibited, Sri Rama exhibited all these characters only to teach us, only for us to follow. And the importance of Rama being God is the facility that we get by following his qualities versus the qualities of Dharmaraj. Rama can take us out of this world, whereas Dharmaraj still we have to. He can recommend us to Krishna, but Rama can directly take it out. Probably that's where the godly factor should help. Right? I don't know.
Yes, understood.
To some extent.
Yes, understood.
Hare
Taking the
Krishna.
examples from Mahabharata.
Yes, Prabhu. People that have followed.
Understood.
Could be the easiest way to explain it. Krishna, any other questions? Hare Krishna. If you don't have any other. Aarti ఉందా మీ కీర్తన ఉందా?
ఆర్తితో కీర్తన
Aarti.
మధ్య
Aarti Pushpa Prabhu wants to do Kirtan.
మా ప్రభుజీ will do ఆర్తి రెండు కీర్తన
Hare Krishna. One chapter to the next because we look
Hare Krishna. Let's do some kirtan.
Ram
राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाददायिने प्रहलाददायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षका ये विष्णु परब्रह्म गाचर्याष्टोत्तर शतस्त्री श्रीमती देवेंद्र देशी भक्तिवेदांत श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ये विष्णु परब्रह्म गाचर्याष्टोत्तर शतस्त्री श्रीमती देवेंद्र भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेमचक जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गदार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधाकृष्ण गोपगोपन श्यामकुंड राधाकुंड गिरिजोवर्धन की जय। गंगामयी की जय। यमुनामयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप क्षेत्र मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ धाम की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। All glories to December devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to December devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to December devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Shri Guru Gauranga Vanchakalpatarushya Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री राम नवमी महा महोत्सव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
बोलो सीतारामचंद्र भगवान की बोलो सीतारामचंद्र भगवान की बोलो सीतारामचंद्र भगवान की
నాకు అది కరెక్ట్ గుర్తొచ్చింది. వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. చాలా రోజులైంది. వస్తే కనబడుతుంది. క్వాంటమ్ ద్వారా